guys, it's Saphira. Today, I'm going to be talking about a huge mindset shift that most people never make. Time and time again, I am shocked by just how easily people and systems tell me no. It's just not possible. It won't work. That's not how we do it. This video is about how I've taught myself to approach situations like this when someone or a system tells me, hey, what you want to do, it's not possible, but that's not really true. Now, just to be clear, this video is not about how to make the impossible possible, but it's about knowing when people are labeling the possible as the impossible and how to get past that. I have some examples for you from my life, but before we go into those, I just want to let you know that all you need is one time to prove to yourself that something that you thought was impossible because it said that it was, or that you weren't the right person, or that you weren't there yet. Once you make one of those things happen and you push past it, everything changes. The first time I ever processed this was actually when I was in college. I've talked about this a ton of times, but I failed a math class in my first semester of college. And I retook the class, aced it in my second semester, but I was still going to be a semester behind in math for the rest of my college career because I essentially wasted a semester. And you can guess that that kind of bugged me. So I decided that I was going to spend the summer taking the next math class, the one that I was supposed to take in my second semester, at a community college near me, so that by the time I started the first semester of my sophomore year, I would be back on track and it would be like I never failed the class. My university made it pretty easy to figure out which schools you could transfer certain classes from. There was a whole list and it said which classes transferred to which LMU classes. That was my university. I got it all set up with my school, and then it was just time for me to apply to the community college and register for the class for the summer. When I went to do that online, it was not working. So what did I do? I called them. No one picked up the phone, and it was pre-COVID times, so I went in person and waited for I think like 2 or 3 hours. The man that I had to speak with was very slow. Like there were, I don't know, 2 or 3 other people in front of me in line waiting to talk with him, and someone would go in and they would be in there forever. When I finally made it into his office, I told him, hey, I'm just here to sign up for pre-calculus. Can you help me out with that? He opened up my transcripts and immediately said, no, you're not going to be able to take pre-calculus yet. I said, why not? He said, well, you haven't taken trigonometry yet, and trigonometry is a prerequisite for pre-calculus. Now, let's take a step back. At my school, you didn't have to take trig to get into pre-calc, at least not for my business major. So I told him, hey, I'm just trying to transfer this to my school. I'm only going to be here for this one class. He said, nope, can't do that. You can't be in the class unless you've taken trig. And I'll tell you, he said that over and over and over again. Could have just said no, but repeated it for like 20 minutes, and I think that's why it took everyone else so long to get out of his office. He told me there's nothing you can do, you have to take trig, just take that first and then take this class after. To me, that didn't make sense. I don't need to do that. I'm trying to get back on track. I'm not trying to take an extra class. So I tried another approach. I said, is there a placement test I can take that will let me place out of trig so that I can then be okay to be in this class? And he said, well, basically, there was a placement test. And people did this all the time. But he told me, you haven't taken trig, so how are you going to take the placement test? I don't think that makes any sense. You shouldn't take the placement test if you haven't taken trig, and you need to take trig to be in this class, so take trig. I said, is there any rule against me taking the placement test? And he paused, and he said, no, but that doesn't make any, he just kept telling me not to do it. There was no way, it wasn't possible, it didn't make sense. I just acted like he didn't even say it, and I said, okay, well, when is the next placement test, and how do I get scheduled for it? Long story short, I got him to schedule me for the placement test. It was 2 days later. I spent 2 days in my bed on Khan Academy learning trigonometry. I took the test, I passed the test, and I finished at the top of that math class for the summer and made it back on track. Basically, I achieved my goal. However, I can't help but wonder how many people never would have made it past. It won't add on my portal online. Or they went in there and he said, nope, that's not possible. And the other thing that I learned here was there are definitely situations when people tell you no, it means no, and there's nothing that you should be pushing them on. I don't even think we need to talk about that in this video. But an easy way to spot one of these situations when someone's telling you that something isn't possible, but it is, and you should push on it, is when it is at no expense to them. It's like this thing where it doesn't affect them negatively whatsoever if you get your yes, and with very little thought put into it, and maybe not the whole truth, they tell you, nope, can't be done. That's when you push. There's also another form of these, which is when it's not someone telling you outright to your face, hey, it's not possible, but it's like maybe it's written somewhere, or your understanding is that you're not ready, and you hold yourself to that. A really good example is like job descriptions. So you're looking to apply for a job and it says, hey, you have to have a college degree to apply. I have known people who were incredibly overqualified, did not have a college degree, and thought, what's even the point of me applying for the job? Don't get me wrong, there are absolutely some jobs where a degree really makes sense. Like hopefully when I go for a checkup, the person has a degree and hopefully the right one for the job that they're doing. But other jobs, it is not relevant. And especially if you've worked in that industry and have a ton of experience already, it doesn't make sense that you need to have that degree. Or it could say you need 5 years of experience and you have 2. What if someone had 5 years of experience and they're terrible, and you had 2, and you work really hard and you're dedicated and you spend time outside of work so that your 2 years are actually worth way more? It could be a million different things, but the job description one is a really good example, because not only in this situation are you doing yourself a disservice, you're doing them a disservice too. They want to hire you. Trust me. They're looking for reasons to hire you. And if they're looking for reasons not to hire you, you're already in a really good place. Basically, in this situation, you're telling yourself, no, I'm not going to apply for the job because I don't even want to hear them say no. And you're not even giving them the opportunity to say yes. You are the one here who is upholding that it is not possible. If you practice this, it will become a superpower. It will not work every time, I can promise you that, but that's not the point. Because if you do this and it works enough times, then even the times when it does not work, you will still know that you did everything you could and it worked all these other times, and that there was nothing else you could do here. And it actually is a comforting feeling. The thing that really gets me about this, and that I also think is going to start to bug you once you try this and it works and you reset your understanding of what is and isn't possible, is you will realize just how much potential is wiped from the face of the planet because someone said no and someone didn't ask why. And yes, it's an issue that people are telling people that it's not possible in the first place, but we're not those people. We can't control them, and what we can control are ourselves. So here's what we're going to do here. We are going to ask why. We're going to think, does it really make sense that that's not possible? We are going to push. We're going to be persistent. And we're going to think, hey, if this does go my way, what does that even do to them? Take this with you. Use it with little things, life-changing things, and I promise you, you are going to be shocked at just how many things people tell you, that's not how it works, we can't do that. You can't do that. That's not possible. That's not possible for you. And please, as soon as you try this or you have something that you want to use it on, let me know, because there's nothing better than hearing about the things that you're able to make possible. I will be back with more videos very soon. Leave me a comment and let me know what topics would be helpful for you. And thank you so much for having me back. Thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you all the best, and be happy.